Okay, well, Dame Cleo Lane. I was going to start with a really boring question with, you've been doing it since 1951. Why are you still working? Because you probably don't need to. But actually, that's quite boring because I'm watching you on stage. You obviously enjoy it, don't you?
I do. I mean, I think if you like singing, you enjoy it because it uplifts you anyway. It gives you the fact that you've got to breathe so deeply, and now that I'm getting on a bit, I have to breathe even deeper to get my notes out. So that's what gives you the energy, really. Deep breathing. There you are, folks. If you want to live a long time and with energy, breathe deeply.
And you've still managed to keep a quality in your voice. I mean, a lot of aging singers, and quite recently, I mean, there have been, especially men, don't tend to keep the quality of voice, do they? How have you managed to keep such a fit and a sort of physically fit voice, really?
I don't really know. I think you have to be healthy in the first place, and I wasn't a fanatic exerciser or anything like that, but I I walked a lot, did a lot of walking, and before my knees went, I used to run, but I have kept myself healthy, and I think if you keep yourself healthy, then the tonsils and all the stuff that uh, gives you a reasonably good voice stays in good nick.
And you're known for your range in voice and your extremely high register. Have you had to sort of reduce that as you got older?
I haven't had to reduce it. The voice reduced it. There are a couple of notes that now that I can't hit, which I could just do with great ease before. I didn't even have to think about it. I just did it, but now I can't.
As we've established, you've been doing this since 1951 when you joined John Dankworth 7. Being a woman in jazz, I mean, the world is full of stories of women in jazz and quite a few tragedies. And you being a mixed race woman in jazz as well. Have you ever experienced any of the difficulties some of your contemporaries have, say Billie Holiday or Nina Simone?
Not really, because I was born in England. My father came from Jamaica, but I think whatever one says about Great Britain, it's not a really and truly a racist country. But I was always glad that I wasn't born in America, because I think there it was very hard for black people. Even if they, I wouldn't consider myself black really. It's just that they know that my father was black, but it was not a country that was very kind to their coloured or black community. Certainly in the South they weren't anyway, and I think it just makes people angry, and I can understand that anger that Nina has and Billie Holiday had. But then you get a couple of people like Ella, who wasn't angry, and Sarah Vaughan, who wasn't angry, and Louis Armstrong. He certainly wasn't an angry man.
Absolutely not. No.
No,
I mean, yes.
not in the least bit. And I think that that it's your mindset in a way. You either get brought down by things, or quite often you have a suicidal tendency, which I think Billy had, and a lot of the early jazzers had that sort of. That's me, saying that. I'm sure it would not be clinically approved of me saying that, but there's something a little bit of truth in that, I think.
Now, going to John Dankworth. Now, you lost your husband last year. It was quite sudden, and it's quite become a bit of a legend now about how you went ahead with the concert. Won't talk about that, but the fact that your set tonight, and also Alex's set, was a backbone of it was very much John's music.
Yes.
What's it been like living without John since his death?
Well, up and down, really. I mean, there are moments when I rejoice in the memories that he left, because he had a great sense of humour, and that's been one of the best things about it, is that I can turn as if I was going to say something to him, and I get the reply, which would be very funny in my head. You know, I would know what he was going to say, and it would either annoy me intensely because he was being funny about the reply was funny instead of being serious, you know, or he would do something funny to make me laugh, you know, which I generally did anyway. I was his best audient.
Yeah, and I think probably his best friend as well, because you have been together for so long.
Oh yeah, we were joined at the hip, really, and all these things sort of they add up over the years, and you can't dismiss them, no matter, you know, whether he's there or not. I talk to him every day because we put the ashes in our garden, and near a pond that he designed for the garden. And I thought that he would like that, and it must admit that he's. I sit there sometimes, and I have he never talks back, thank goodness now. So, but we have long conversations.
Excellent. Well, here comes the local radio bit. Now, you've opened the Cheltenham Jazz Festival 2011. 60 years on since you started. So you've been in, 1951, 2011, 60 years. So, I mean, that's a lifetime for many people, and it's just a showbiz career for you, really, or show business career.
Well, there are a lot of people out there that have done that. 60 years isn't very long, really. But it doesn't seem like 60 years because I've enjoyed singing, really. I think that's if I didn't enjoy singing, then it would be 60 years of hell, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. And I was speaking to many people coming in and saying, what is it about jazz that you like? And most people are saying Cleo Lane. That's the reason we're coming to see Cleo Lane's. What's it like having an audience that has grown up with you that way?
Well, John and I were both very proud of that fact, because I think there are a hell of a lot of people that quite honestly weren't interested in jazz, but because we didn't go far way out, but did enough to satisfy ourselves, not to bring it down to anybody's level. And all those musicians on stage like John Haller, the pianist who's with us for 27 years, he wouldn't have stayed if he thought that we were playing down to the lowest common denominator, because we didn't. All the music that John created was always classy and highly technical. And all the arrangements that he did for me, a lot of singers would like to have been married to him. Because I always say, you know, he thought he was going to get a cheap singer when he married me, but he got an expensive wife.
Excellent. Well, Cheltenham Jazz Festival, you've opened that this year's event. What do you think of the Jazz Festival here?
Well, I think it's wonderful. And when I look at the programmes, you know, there's some nice people coming in. I'm very interested in Hugh Laurie, because I watch him in house. And occasionally in that series, he gets on the piano, or I think he also plays the guitar a bit. But
yes. Sickeningly talented, I think, is the word.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what amazes me is that when I watch it, I think an American couldn't do that role. He's got a great American accent, but I don't think that because he's disliked. And Americans don't like to be disliked, but in that show he's disliked, but yet you're drawn to, and the fact that I think all of them, you know, learning all those intricate medical things that they have to spout every week, I think, oh dear, that's a memory that they've got.
Excellent. Well, Dame Cleo, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you.
My pleasure too, talking to you, Andy.
Thank you very much. I'll leave you to it now. Great stuff.